Joining us now, though, is Sven's assistant manager with England for many years, Steve McClaren. Good afternoon, Steve.
Good afternoon, Paul and Andy.
Incredibly sad news. I mean, Sven had been very upfront about his illness, and I think we all knew this day was coming. But for those of you that sort of knew and worked with him, it's incredibly sad.
Absolutely. Even though you know it's coming, it's been very quick from the announcement to him passing away, and it's it's sad for everybody the way it went.
Yeah. What were your impressions of him when you first started to work with him? You worked with lots of different managers, different styles of managers over the years. What were your perceptions of him when you first started to work closely with him, Steve?
It's just his calmness. He's so relaxed. Whatever the crisis was, whatever was going on in the newspapers, he was so calm. And that's what he brought to the squad. That's what he brought to the players and the staff and to England, was that rest assured calmness. There was lots of crisis with England, but he came through them all with a little smile, quip, and a nice bottle of red wine at the end of the day.
Do you think because he was quite laid back, and someone earlier on used the term sort of laissez-faire attitude, that people sort of misconstrued that for, a kind of not the right attitude? He wasn't a traditional football manager, was he, in that way?
No, I think he got criticised for staying in his seat and being calm and not panicking when there was a goal down or something was happening in the game. He got criticised a lot for that. But I've got to say that's something that I learned from. I've not been doing it myself because I'm very active on the line, but he was just so calm. And I used to, we're 1-0 down, Sven. We need to make substitutions now. We need to bring him on. We need to bring him. And he used to go, no, Steve, sit down, sit calm, let's wait. And the next minute we'd equalise and then go on to win. So it was one of them where you just accepted his calmness, the experience and what he'd been through. He had some great stories of his time in Italy, Sweden, where he first started. And you could see from that experience, he just sat back. It was a little bit, I was very fortunate at the time. I was with Sir Alex Ferguson and Sven. And, there were poles apart, but in terms of football knowledge, in terms of changing a game, they were both the same.
Had some amazing players to deal with, some of the best we've ever produced. What was he like with the players?
Fantastic. I think it took a while to get to know. Team talks were always, and Beckham, you'll be here, and Scholes, you'll be here, and Lampard, and Gerrard, you'll be there, and Heskey, you there, and he used to say, because it was English, you called them by the names or the nicknames, Scholesy or Lamps or something, but he would never, always call them by the second name. And I think that took a while for the players to adjust. But once they knew that all players are the same, if they know the manager can help them win, they'll accept him and they'll listen to him. And that's what they did. And I think it was his gentlemanly manner and the way in which he taught and approached players that you were just naturally close. And I think the key word is trust. What he built with that England squad was trust all the way through the players and the staff.
Although the general public didn't necessarily see it, but there was a steely side to him. There has to be if you're going to be that successful in management. Was he? Did you ever see teacups thrown, Steve?
Really, no. And that was the other thing that, the players sometimes thought. And he wouldn't. He would just come in, gentlemen. Okay, we lose today. We get up tomorrow. We win the next game. And that's how we approached it. And it was a totally different approach to probably anything that they'd had before. When in England, that managers were renowned to be quite ferocious and vocal and confrontational. He was totally the opposite, and it worked well with the players.
And it's interesting because the members of the press that dealt with him really, really respected him and enjoyed him. But he had a hard time. Did it ever really get to him, especially not the non-football matters? Obviously, we used to join up, and I used to meet him on a Sunday night. And Sven, you're going to have a tough week this week, not just on the field but off the field. We see, Stevie. We see. Maybe they write things. Maybe they won't. We will see. Amazing.
And it's so calm about it that you just went along, and nothing seemed to faze him. Nothing seemed to bother him at all.
What about as a coach, Steve? I mean, say he'd been very successful in club management. What did you sort of learn from him and make of him as a coach in kind of key moments?
Fantastic. That was the strength of him. It was a simple system. We played 4-4-2. But what he did, he put players where they should be playing. The only dilemma and criticism he got was obviously Lampard, Gerrard, and Scholes.
Yeah.
And he used to just they play there for the club. Scholes plays on the left sometimes for Manchester United, and Lampard. So he put everybody in the position where they excelled and expected them to go out and play. So it was very simple system, very 4-4-2. And it was really just trusting. He really just trusted the players to go out and used to say, what you do for your club, you do for England. Exactly the same. Didn't try anything difficult. Just did that. And I mean, we had memorable games, memorable victories. And the players really, I think it was a time, and I look back as well, where always when you're in it, and everybody was in it, you thought, we're not being very successful here. But we were. And we had some great times, very, very close in terms of tournaments, very unlucky in terms of injuries to key people, when, especially the Rooney one, we seemed as if we had a team to go all the way.
Be a very sad day for Tord Grip today, who you work with as part of the England setup. I mean, you consider that Sven-Göran Eriksson came in as a coach under Tord Grip and then ended up having this incredible career. But Tord was in and around the camp, and they were great friends. He was sort of a mentor to him, wasn't he?
He was like the professor. He knew everything, and you could see that Sven respected him so much, and he had such a bond with him, and a closeness and telepathy, shall we call it, that he accepted what Tord, and Tord said little, but when he said it, really effective. And the two of them worked together. And I always say, it's not just about the manager, it's not just about the leader, it's about the person and the staff that you work with. And him and Tord were a perfect couple. And both of them, total gentlemen. And Tord's strength was not just his football brain, but in picking the white wine and the red wine when we went in camp.
and playing the accordion as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, playing the accordion and the... Yeah, last time we
spoke...
That's right. Yeah, that's right. He used to play... I think he played in the dressing room. We often used to imagine he might have done...
he did, but I'm sure
he did.
I'm
sure he did, and that would have been good. So finally, Steve, in your mind's eye, when you think of Sven, is there one moment? Is there one game? Is there just... What's that image in your mind's eye? That moment immediately springs to mind.
When I think, obviously, it's about the Munich result, which was a one-off, totally unbelievable. Everything went our way that evening. But I always remember in the World Cup and against Argentina, and just winning that 1-0 with the penalty. And it was, one of the... It kind of signified that we were at that time capable of winning tournaments. But unfortunately, as in tournaments, you need luck, things going your way, and injuries going your way. Unfortunately, we didn't have them. But my time with him will always be just remembering his calm demeanour, his knowledge of football, and where he had worked and who he had worked with was incredible. And again, his love of white wine and relaxing.
Yeah.
After a hard day's work, just relax. Just relax.
Yeah.
All he could say.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he loved football, and football was important to him. But it wasn't everything. He had a perspective on it, Steve.
He had a great balance. Great balance, and that's, if I'm working with him, I never adopted it myself because I didn't have that mindset. But that one where in real crisis, in real pressure moments, don't worry, Stevie.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Yeah, always in camp and at the end of the day, just before picking a team, he'd ask everybody, Ray Clemens, Sammy Lee, Tord Grip, myself, What's your team? What's your team, gentlemen, for tomorrow? I always wanted our opinion on it. We'd write it down, we'd give it him, and we expected him to come back because I was taking training, so I needed to plan that. And all he would do, take the pieces of paper, sip his red wine. Stevie, we sleep on it.
Yeah.
I'll let you know in the morning.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.